Hey, everybody, welcome back to a quick hit of Samp&Chance. Here we are, just a few hours removed from Clash at the Castle in Cardiff, Wales. How was it, Chance?
Good show, really good. I gave it 4 out of 5. I was impressed with it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I also gave it a 4 out of 5. 62,259 was the announced attendance, I believe, for this show.
Yeah,
Crowd was just lit. I mean, for
they
three
were
and a
hot
half,
the whole time.
yeah, it was about what they were probably in there for about good 4.5 hours, right? With the kickoff
Yeah,
show and everything. And you could tell they were starving. They were hungry for this. They wanted it. And if this was an audition for future shows in Europe, in England, they sold themselves, man. The fans really brought it tonight. Big round of applause to that crowd.
singing along to Edge's song word for word.
That was fantastic, man. And then the whole just I think just the English crowd brings that.
They do.
Like the whole let's get right into it. So the first match that kicked it all off was the six man
A
or the six.
surprise. I didn't know that was going to
Yeah.
happen.
Well, no, you know what? And it was a good call. Actually, at the end of the day, after watching the match and everything, the girls just did an amazing job here. So basically, we had Io Sky, sorry, Dakota Kai, Sky and Kai, very much like Kai and Kai. Remember that Japanese tag team from back in the day?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So Sky, Kai, and Bailey versus Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and the WWE Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair. A good way to start. Bailey got the win over Bianca, which is great. That continues the storyline.
Yeah,
That
it was a
sets
good
her up.
finish.
Yeah, that sets her up perfectly for a title shot, in my opinion, going forward. I don't think that Bailey has a lot, or sorry, I don't think Bailey or Bianca has a lot of competition right now. So this is great, fresh, new opponent, and should be really, really fun here, man.
They got 20 minutes. So they got a long time to go out there and do their thing. So that was good.
Well, everyone got a long time. There was only
Yeah.
6 matches on the card, and nothing was really added. I guess the kickoff show, which had Austin Theory, the Alpha Academy, going up against the Street Profits and
Good
Madcap.
match that was too, by the way.
That was good as well, right? It was a really good match as well. But what I liked about these guys started fast and they kept it moving. They didn't slow down, which is what you want for your opening match, for your curtain jerker. So
Set the
based
tone.
on that,
Yep.
they set the tone really well. I loved it. I thought it was a great
It was
job
good.
here.
Yeah.
They do a quick recap of SummerSlam 92, and guess who's in the crowd? Mr. Bret Hart himself
The
is
one and
there.
only from Calgary, Alberta.
There you go. And you know what? I was watching that match last night. WWE Network has been showing a lot of the
But Bulldog and
classic.
Hart.
Well, yeah, yeah. They're showing a lot of the old, like they're showing a lot of the matches that they had in the UK and whatnot. Um, Bret Hart against The Undertaker, which is really cool. Just some matches you never got to see before.
Yeah, but that's what I love
And
about the network.
right, so that was really cool to see. Um, but what I was watching is like when I watched that match, the only people that were alive now are Vince and Brett. Everyone else had passed away. That was,
Sad, eh?
it's sad, but it just also shows you like, how much things change in the world of professional wrestling
Yeah.
or sports
It also
entertainment.
shows you life is precious. You got to enjoy it now and live it to the fullest as much as you can.
Well, no, 100%. I mean, outside of Joey Morella, the referee who was in that match, he died in a car accident, but you look at the
Gorilla
competitors and
Monsoon's kid, for those that don't
yeah,
know,
absolutely. Gorilla Monsoon's kid, and he outlived his child, which is a
which should
parent's
never
worst
happen.
nightmare. Which is a parent's worst nightmare.
It is a yeah.
But you know what? Let's move on. Let's move on. We don't want to make this a sad show here.
No,
Number two, Gunther wins over Sheamus. I told you, man, this match was awesome. I loved
you're
it from
right. Yeah,
start to
I equal
finish.
on that one. It was a hell of a good match.
It was an amazing match. I give it an A personally. And I'm not saying that because I was hyped
No,
up
it
about
was. It
it,
was.
but
It was
it's
an A match.
that's the kind of wrestling I like. This was exactly as advertised. They beat the fucking shit out of each
Stiff
other,
as hell. Yeah, look at their
right?
chest beat red.
A hard hitting hit after another. I mean, 2 minutes into the match, Sheamus' chest was already red.
These are two big men going at it, and those chops and forearms hurt, man. You could hear the
And
sound.
and Gunther's actually slimmed down. He was much bigger when he was Walter in NXT UK.
Yeah,
He's a much bigger guy.
you're right.
Surprise.
It was an A match. I was wrong on that. It was great.
Yeah, no, there was no bathroom break matches on this card.
No,
I not
no.
I mean No, really, there were no bathrooms, so you gotta hold your piss in, son.
Yeah, it was good.
It was that kind of a show. Gunther getting to retain over a big star like him is great because I think Gunther is that guy. He's gonna
Yeah,
be that next kind of Sheamus, you know, Drew McIntyre, hard-hitting European Steven Regal type of character that they're gonna be building. That's that next version
which
of
is
it,
nice to have.
which is nice to have. And Gunther, I like him. I liked him as Walter, and the matches he's had, even for a big man. I mean, you don't know. They're so
Yeah,
hard hitting. Like you think, okay, this guy's done, or his opponent's done, but the back and forth, but the double power bombs and the lariat at the end, to put Sheamus down. I mean,
the
that's a big
Celtic cross, whatever he had off the top rope,
all
Sheamus
of
is
it.
doing there.
Yeah, yeah, like all of it. Like it just phenomenal match.
It
Really,
was.
really hard hitting, good shots. I mean, these guys worked really, really well together. And you know what? I'm looking forward to what the future holds here for them. Now we get on to Liv Morgan over Shayna Baszler. She won and clean.
Yep,
Thoughts?
that's a decent match. Decent. What do you think about it?
Well, I probably give it a high C plus, a low B, to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's
I
fair.
mean, again, both ladies worked really, really well. I love how Liv sells everything.
Yeah,
She's
she's good
going to
at that.
be, as a champion, she will always be the constant underdog in every match, primarily in every match she fights. She'll always be the underdog going in, even though she's the champion. One of the commentators, I'm not sure, I think it was Corey Graves who said it, that she had to dig deep for this win. I
Yeah, it
feel
was Graves.
she's gonna have to dig deep for every win. If she's going to go up against Ronda, she's going to have to dig deep. If she's going to go up against anyone really
She
on
has
this
to dig
roster,
deep. Yeah,
she's going to have to dig deep. And I think that's the story they're going to try to push with her. I thought Ronda would have come out, but if you had watched SmackDown, she did get reinstated. So I thought, oh, okay, here we go. But then she beat up Adam Pearce after.
poor Adam Pearce.
Well, he called her names and shit, and said that he would fire her, and he wasn't really pleasant about her as well, kind of
Yeah,
heelish on
he
his
deserved
part.
it.
But he brought that shit on himself last night. So a clean win. And up until this point, I'm thinking, okay, I've been thinking about all these different swerves and turns and this and that, and nothing had really happened yet. In terms of anything kind of major. I guess if you know who's in the know-how of NXT and what now, Imperium was reformed, the full group of Imperium.
Yeah,
Giovanna Rossi has come back. He's been brought up from NXT now. He was originally with Gunther and Kaiser in NXT. They were Imperium. That was the name of their faction. So it's nice to see all three of them back together again. Um, I just want to go back to that Sheamus match. Loved how it started. Loved how all three of the other guys were all fighting each other while the other two just, Gunther and Sheamus just stared at each other
that
down
was
until
good.
that
Yeah, while
bell
they're
bell
fighting
rang.
it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And those guys ended up in the back. So I mean, it was a clean match, and I think that's what really, really made me happy that there was no interference.
Yeah,
It was like a solid, solid match. Up until that point, I would have said it was the match of the night. I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking about it,
it's still.
but
I think there's one that beat it, but we'll get to that one.
yeah, no, 100%. So Liv, great win, great victory on her part. Didn't hurt Shayna, made Shayna, Shayna looked okay, but again, kind of interesting. I don't know where they're gonna go with this now. It's kind of up in the air what direction they're gonna go with the SmackDown title, but she's the champion, man. She's that inspirational champion
Yep,
that you got to keep fighting hard. So if that's what they're selling, fair enough, man. I'm on board with it. I think Liv has proven herself now.
she
Um,
has.
so good for her. Congratulations. All right, here we go. We have Edge and Rey Mysterio against the Judgment Day. This was a fun match. It was your
Very
typical,
fun.
and you know what? Edge and Rey look like the tag team of old.
They're good. They work well together. They got good chemistry.
They had great chemistry. They were, tag team champions at one point,
Hmm.
back in the day. So I mean, these guys were really good. But the telltale signs of this whole match, if you watch Dominic from the very get-go, not staying in the ring for the entrance, it's kind of dropping to the apron and watching from the outside. I'm going to say this right off the bat before I forget. I think this is Dominic's best work since he's been in the WWE.
It is. He's going on his own now without his dad, so he's got to
But,
step up.
but just the way he did it. All
Hmm.
right. So, very simply put, you have this an amazing sequence. It's the second time that they tried it. The first time Ray was trying to hit the spear, with no, sorry, Ray did a after Edge hit a 619, Ray did his frog splash off the top rope for the win, but they didn't get it. But the victory came when Ray hit the 619 and Edge out of nowhere came in with the spear on Finn, and that was the match. But I think it's what happened after the match that really
That's
sold it
still,
all.
yeah, that was the highlight of this. Yeah.
So basically Dominic comes into the ring and you could tell because Edge and Ray were just celebrating with each other and he felt like that kid at the party who wasn't being acknowledged and no one was shaking his hand
Yeah.
and he just waiting for it and finally when Edge acknowledges him, bam, kicking the balls. And Edge's face was phenomenal. The way he
It was,
sold
yeah,
it,
it was great.
the way he sold it, looking him in the eye as he crumpled up into a little ball on the ground. Ray looks at his son to say, "What are you doing, man? No, this is not right." Monster Lariat knocks out Ray. There you go. The turn is complete. Judgment Day is laughing. Now, does this mean he joins the Judgment Day, do you think?
I think so. You know what else I was thinking? Now that we got a little family feud here, Vicky Guerrero's still signed with WWE. Maybe she'll get involved in this.
Actually, she is with AEW, brother.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. She signed a pretty good, decent deal
Oh,
with
I
those
didn't know that. I
guys.
thought she's still with WWE. Okay, so
Yeah, no,
cancel
no, no,
that.
no, no, 100%. No, yeah, she left WWE. She went on to become a medical assistant of some sort. She went back to school, and I guess AEW kind of came up and they brought her on, and
I didn't
she's
know that.
basically, yeah, she's kind of, I don't know where she is these days. Like most of the AEW people, they kind of disappear. Um,
Scattered.
they're scattered. So, she's last I know that she was managing the native beast Nala Rose.
Okay, I didn't know that. So okay, well
Yeah.
then that's not happening then.
No, but here's what I like about this. I mean, the way Dominic's facial expressions for the first time looked good. Like he didn't look lost. He didn't look like a little kid. He looked
He's not looking to his
proper.
dad. Is this okay? Is this right, Dad? He did his own thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did his own thing, and I think it was absolutely amazing. I stand by it. Probably the best thing Dom has ever done since he's been in WWE, and I'm talking about when Ray and Eddie were fighting over
He's a little kid.
over him as a little kid. So this is just amazing. Now, if they can do this properly, this is what I would like to see. And this is just me fantasy booking. I want to be able to see them kind of push this to the WrestleMania.
I think that's where you'll see the payoff.
I hope so, but we're far. September. We still got October, November, December. We got about 5, 6 months of a build up here. What can they do? I think you're probably gonna have to have a fight somewhere here and there at some point. But ultimately, I would love to see this end at WrestleMania with Dom beating Ray at Mania, them embracing, and Dom getting his mask.
You're going to see Dom saying you weren't a good dad. You're on the road. You neglected him. You're going to hear all the good stuff you want to hear in this feud.
Yeah, no, 100%. But like I said, I like to accumulate, have this all kind of come to a crescendo at Mania with Dom beating him and getting the mask. I think that would be the WrestleMania moment.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool because they say in luchador culture, you just don't take a mask. You're given your mask.
You got to earn it. Yeah.
Anyone can put it on, but you're not recognized until it's given to you.
Yeah.
So, if that's the case and whatnot, then that would be an awesome way to kind of, end this story. And I'll be honest, man, we were talking about it earlier. The Gun Club had done this first, Billy Gunn fighting his son. But even though we saw this coming, and the Gun Club one, I really didn't see coming, to be honest. Like it wasn't really something that was being built up. Maybe it was a little bit, but I think this buildup was much better. This is a turn that's been in the works for how many months now?
Yeah, you
You
can see
know,
it building slowly.
we've been talking about this since maybe WrestleMania,
Yeah.
right? So it's been going really well, but it was done so much better. And the turn itself, I think it's just that time spent with Edge and that time learning from Ray, being on the main roster, working with these guys. He's got his facial expressions down pat. I'm excited. Ripping off his Rey Mysterio shirt as he's leaving.
That
That
was
was
good.
really cool as well. So the little details. All right, brother. Let's get to the match here. Wow, Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle. What a fight.
Match of
What
the night,
a
I think.
Yeah, you know what? And it was really, really well done,
They
man.
were
I
fast
was
paced, man. They were just giving it move after move after move. It was intense.
Well, here's the way I looked at it. It felt like it was two guys who really wanted to hurt each other in real life,
Hmm.
and the story was that Riddle was fighting on emotion. And you could tell it by his movement, his actions. He was just coming and coming and coming. It was Seth who was slowing down the match and trying to set a pace to the match, but Riddle just over flooded with emotion from those comments from that last sit down with the Corey Grave interview. I think that really helped sell the match. Or are
Yeah,
we off the air, even though they were still on the air? Sort of a deal to make that realism, dropping the F bombs in that promo, that kind of anger that you've never seen from Matt Riddle, and to carry that on throughout the whole week, right into the match where he just came out guns a blazing, and it's just phenomenal. Great match.
in my opinion, Seth's the best talent in WWE right now overall. The look, the ring gear is always different. The way he dresses, his mic work, in ring work. He's my favorite guy right now. I think he's the best. That's my just opinion.
No, I'm not going to disagree with you. I mean, technically, yeah, he's phenomenal. I mean, he's the standard bearer right
I love
now
his ring gear
for
every time. That ring gear it's always cool.
guy
It's
looked
so
like the
cool.
Phoenix today, man.
Yeah,
I don't know if he was trying to be a dragon or I think he looked more like a Phoenix.
that's what I thought. I wasn't sure what he's doing, but he's always and they've got those crazy coats on and like Riddle work his ass off, Seth work his butt off, and I love the curb stomp from the second rope there. Add a little more
No,
ump to it.
no, 100%. At
Brilliant
the end,
match, A plus.
yeah, yeah,
And
100%. Like
finally, my boy Seth got a win. I was finally saying
there you
that. He
go.
finally got
No,
it.
there you go. He got the win. Everything looks good. Nobody looked bad in this. I think there'll probably be a rematch at Extreme Rules. I don't think this is over
I
yet.
think so, man. I'd love to see that again. That's how good this is.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, nothing was resolved. You could tell by the facial expressions and
Yeah,
whatnot. It's not resolved issue yet. There's still a little bit to go here. Ultimately, what we got here ultimately was it's just a good fight that came off with two angry men hitting each other like they really meant to.
amazing match. Both were
Yeah,
trying to outdo each other, but they both worked well together. It was well done, top to bottom.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, main event time. Roman Reigns against Drew McIntyre. This crowd was hot for
Oh yeah,
Drew from the get-go. Um, Again, hats off to Roman Reigns
yes.
for telling the story. He came out with nobody because of the Usos' continuous run-in with the law with drinking and driving. These guys aren't allowed into the UK either. So you got Paul Heyman selling the injury still. It's
Yeah,
rare that I get a chuckle like that out of you, bro. That
yeah.
must
Those
have
guys
hit
are
you,
such goofballs outside of the ring.
right? So you basically got Roman Reigns coming out. It's literally one against 62,250 or 260 in this case.
Yeah.
That crowd was hot,
Oh yeah.
hot for Drew. And these guys, and just the way the match started, you just saw a very discombobulated Roman Reigns coming out there, confused, kind of disoriented by this reaction. No one acknowledged him. There was no acknowledgement of Roman Reigns. He just
That's
kind of,
true.
the times where you thought, okay, Heyman's in his corner, someone's going to talk to him, give him some advice, pull him out at the right time. He had none of that tonight. So I'm going to say this right off the bat before we kind of break it down a little further. I think in the 2 year reign of Roman Reigns as world champion, this was probably his best match as champion, as a title defense.
Definitely one of them. Definitely top two or three for sure.
I can't think of the other ones right now, but yeah, definitely
I would
top
think the
three.
one with Lesnar at SummerSlam maybe, but this is right up there.
No, I think this is different than that either because we saw Lesnar and stuff at like SummerSlam. Yeah, great match, but it was all it was a tractor. It was all of
It
it
was more about
combined.
Lesnar, yeah.
Yeah, it was all about Lesnar and whatnot. But this was Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns, just two guys going at it, and there was that legitimate feeling of Roman losing here,
Yeah, I like that.
right? And he sold it. He seemed, like I said, discombobulated. He didn't know how to how to react
React
to
to
the
it, yeah.
fans or react to the situation. And the way he was fighting in the beginning, the style that he was using, the movement, just this body language was selling that. Every time he thought he was getting ahead, Drew, with the power of the crowd behind him, would break it up and kind of, you know, get that energy, and that was confusing him. Roman, that is.
Yeah.
Um, solid, hard-hitting match, back and
It
forth.
was.
A lot of power used here. Roman did get his offense in. There was, you could slowly see him getting his confidence as the match was building. But every time he got a little bit higher, Drew would come back and just kind of finish it off. Kick out of the spear, kick out of the claymore. So, they were giving their best to each other, and everyone was kicking out of everything at the same time. So they were staying level there. No one was getting diminished. I mean, throughout the whole thing till the very end. Um, both guys looked amazingly strong and were doing a great job of it all. Everything kind of changed here. Little Nate Stroll Robinson was the referee. The ref bump happened, and you could see it in the crowd. People putting their hands on their face, like, oh, "Okay, here we go. This is where it's
Yeah,
all gonna fall apart." And then your man Austin Theory's music hits. I
I
didn't
like
even
that.
think about him. I didn't even think about him in this match.
I
We
like
didn't
how they
even,
did that.
yeah, we didn't even mention him though, right?
We didn't think about it. Nope.
Right? And
And
there's a
that's what you
couple
love about
moments here.
wrestling. That's right. The surprise that you don't think of. That's what makes it beautiful. That
Well,
kind of
that's the
stuff.
funny thing. Like with everything that we've known about and what have you, we're like, okay, that's the one component that I didn't think about. I thought about Bray. I thought about Karrion Cross. Karrion Cross was there. He was in the crowd with Scarlett,
Yeah.
and they played their little part there. I mean, that's where things kind of started to change for Drew in terms of offense. He threw a water bottle from his seat. That distracted Drew. That gave Roman the opportunity to kind of get in there and get his offenses started. But that's the only time we saw Karrion involved in this.
Yeah.
So we got the program for him now. So we know it's going to be Karrion and Drew next. That's the next
Which is good
program.
because now Reigns can go on to the next feud.
Whatever that is, we don't even know who that is. Maybe Seth, possibly SummerSlam or Survivor Series,
Could be.
possibly. But yeah, so basically, little Nate, he gets knocked out. He's knocked out of the ring. Theory comes down, and it's interesting how far he goes back to the barrier to give the referee the briefcase right in the range of the world heavyweight champion of the world himself, Mr. Tyson Fury, in the
Played
crowd
him out.
with his family. He just stood up and gave him the was a jab, right? No, no, it was just a right. He gave him a
Is it
nice
right?
little
Yeah.
right. Yeah, finished him with a right, knocked him out. Tyson Fury, I just saw a little interview that he was doing saying, yeah, he's still knocked out there. He's still there. He's still laying there in the stadium, knocked out.
That's hilarious.
Um, but you know what? That had the other referee right there. And Drew right there almost had it. 1-2, kicked out of the Claymore, back and forth again they go, and just a lot of power stuff. And then all of a sudden, when everyone thought Drew had it, a third Claymore at this point, I probably believe.
Yeah, it was
One,
three.
two, someone pulls out the ref. Who could it be? The Usos' baby brother, man. He's back. He's here. He's the guy that's been in NXT. That's the next NXT call up now. So the bloodline is complete. Um, really, really fun, man. I just think having all the Usos together now. What's his name? Sokoa?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Sokoa's there now. So, and he's the biggest of them.
And nobody's seen that coming. Nobody would have guessed he'd come out there and do that either.
Uh,
So it was well done.
well, it was really well done because I know that he was going to be called up, but I didn't know that he was going to be here. I really thought there was going to be a Bray Wyatt or Karrion Cross would have done more of the swerve thing here, but having him come out, I think that just makes Roman look like a tribal chief,
Yeah, he's got his whole crew now.
right? He got his whole crew, and I think this is what does wonders for Roman Reigns. He fought the match head on. He handled his business. He almost lost.
Yep.
He almost lost on a couple occasions in this match, but to hold his own, the bloodline wasn't there for him, and a lot of people were saying, maybe the last 5, 6 title matches he's had, there's been someone there to help him to get him over that edge. And you know what? That has been the case. And you know what? It was the case in this match
It
as
was the
well.
case again. He's a heel. Heels
But
cheat to win, right?
right, right. But the way he did it this time, because no one saw it,
That's
there
true.
was no one there with him. That proved to me that okay, the guy can still go as a fan,
Oh yeah.
right? And I loved it. Loved it.
I love
After
the
the
finish. I
match,
love Tyson Fury. I love Theory coming out. Soko, whatever his name is, the younger brother, and it
Sokoa,
was well
yeah.
done.
Yeah, no, it was all well done. Everything was beautiful. That was the show, but then they didn't turn off the cameras and they let the cameras roll. Tyson Fury comes into the ring. He shakes Roman Reigns' hand. Now, the size difference between the two of them was amazing.
Oh, dude, This guy's a
Roman's not a
monster.
little guy. He's a
No,
big man.
what's Roman, 6'4", 6'5"?
6'5", 6'6", I believe, right? But I
Yeah,
mean, he's
see,
wide. He's a big man. He's got a huge back, right? But Tyson Fury standing in front of him just looks such a mismatch. But
oh, he's just a monster of a man.
I don't know. Seeds being planted for something down the line? Possibly.
Could be.
Could be a fun match.
Yeah, Tyson
Could be
really
a
says he
fun
wants, if
match.
he could pick any guy to wrestle, he wants to get a piece of Lesnar.
Well, and maybe that will happen one day. I mean, if both guys like big money, both guys like big box office fights, and if you put those two in a ring, I'm sure you're gonna get
Oh
some
yeah,
good sales on that show.
two
Absolutely.
monsters.
No, 100%. So yeah, dude, it just wow,
It's a good
blew my
four out
mind.
of five show. Is a really good show,
It
top to
was really
bottom.
good, top to bottom, and the surprises were just right.
Mm-hmm.
The shocks and the turns, even though some of them we expected, just
Some of them
were
we had
done.
no idea.
Some we had no idea, but everything worked perfectly. I mean, I gave this, like I said, a 4 out of 5.
Yeah,
I don't know what's stopping me from giving it a 5. It's just because I always feel there's more ways to improve and make every show better. But yeah, I definitely give it a 4 out of 5. Now, that all being said, you are probably, I'm guessing, gonna say Seth versus Riddle was your favorite
yeah, hands
match
down.
of the night, hands
Yeah,
down. All right, I can't disagree with that, but I have to put the Gunther and Sheamus match
yeah,
up
that was
there
the
as
second
well.
best match of the night.
So I would be okay with either one. Overall, brother, I think this was a phenomenal show. I
It
think
was good. They
if
did
this
well,
is
good, really good. WWE, the whole creative team, everybody top to bottom did a hell of a job.
no, they've done a good job, and I don't know if you had the opportunity to see the post show press conference at all.
Not really. I seen a couple clips on YouTube.
Yeah, I know it was kind of interesting. Tyson Fury, someone asked him because I mean he came out with Drew McIntyre as the last part of the panel, and they asked him straight up, like, do you want to do this? He goes, well, look, and this is what I thought was kind of interesting when he said it. Like, how he keeps saying, I'm retired, I'm retired. Today in this press conference, he goes, look, I got a few fights ahead of me in the next few years,
Yeah,
that I have to take care of some business. And when, I'm like, well, what the fuck, dude? You just said you retired for like the longest time. Now you're gonna fight for the next 3 years? Like, make up your mind, son. Interesting comment that he did make, probably the greatest takeaway from his little press conference. I don't know if it's a work, but I don't know if he was being Tyson Fury either. He says that Usyk is saying that he's not prepared to fight in December and would want to
he's
do
gonna
the
fight it
fight.
before that. Yeah,
He wants to fight in the new year. Tyson says, you know what? I don't have time to wait because of the fact that he has other fights that he has to get to.
maybe he's gonna fight Chisora, man, like they were gonna do before.
And why would you do that?
But it
That
just knock
just
him out in a few rounds. There's no point of it.
I get it, but there's no even I don't know, man. But
Who
but
would he
like you said,
fight?
I don't know, but we'll find out next week. According to Mr. Tyson Fury, he will be announcing a fight next week, he says.
He's been really trashing on Usyk, man. I love it. It's hilarious. He's baiting
Come
him like, get
on,
out
you
here, little
middleweight,
middleweight.
middleweight. Love it, love it.
He's awesome.
I think it's going to be an
I
amazing
hope they
fight.
fight in America because I want to see Tyson Fury fight live before he retires.
Yeah, I would love to see him too. But you know what though? That might give us a reason just to get out to the UK.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna have to do that because I've never been there, so I'd love to go
Well,
there.
we'll definitely go. I know that place.
Yeah, I want to go there.
Definitely, definitely. All right, brother. Here we are.
Good
We
show.
are midway through the long weekend here, the
One
Saturday
more
of
thing
Labor
before
Day.
we wrap it up, isn't AEW all out tomorrow?
Yes, we have
How are they gonna top
AEW.
that or meet this card? There's no way.
Well, here's the thing, man. The talent there is still really, really good, and they put on great matches. So, from a
Mm-hmm.
match perspective, I think a lot of the matches will be really good. Here's the problem with this one show. This is the first time in their history, in their pay-per-view history, that this is probably the worst built show that they've done,
Yeah.
right? I mean, going into Dynamite, there was only maybe one or two matches that anyone even knew about. I believe the Chris Jericho versus Daniel Bryan match, and I think that was it. Yeah. And no, sorry, the four-way match for the women's interim title
Is
were the
Moxley
only
even
two.
defending his belt tomorrow?
Moxley is fighting Punk again.
Well, Punk's already recovered from injury, ready to go again.
Apparently so, man. I mean, they made a big deal out of it, a segment out of it. So here's what happened. Mox came out, he opened up Dynamite, he talked his talk, he really ran down Punk saying, I was ready to go 50, 60 minutes. I didn't realize, I only needed three. Right? So
Yeah.
he made all these comments and whatnot. I mean, just done really well. Mox is pretty good that way,
Mm-hmm.
unscripted. He's good that way. So he basically threw a contract in the ring. I said, look, I've
Okay.
already signed it. Whoever wants to fight me, here's the contract. And one of the guys that work in the back, Ace Steel, former wrestler, he came, grabbed the contract, and he did this segment with Punk telling him, you have to fight, blah, blah, blah. And apparently Ace Steel got fined because he dropped the F bomb during that
Okay.
promo. So that's what set that match up. Outside of that, I don't know what else is going on. I'm sorry, I really don't know.
So find out tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow. That's going to be coming up as well. UFC was in France today. That was a fun card as well. Interesting thing, Leon Edwards, the newly
Yeah,
crowned
he's in the crowd
UFC.
today. I seen
Yeah,
that.
so he decided to go to WWE instead of UFC, which was in Paris, not that far from him. That was
Guess he's a
funny.
big fan.
Why, you know what? He's just trying to, I think he's trying to show Dana because he wants to defend the title against Kamaru in England in a stadium show. And
Yeah.
Dana wants to do it too. But if the way Cardiff responded to him, I think he could sell the stadium. And
Could be. They stacked
dude,
that card, yeah.
Leon, Patty, Molly, Darren Till, if he's healthy, those four there alone would be perfect. You got
Oh yeah, they sell it out.
they'd sell it out easily.
Oh yeah.
All right, brother man, why don't we get back to our weekend? Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to do this with us. And this has
Time
been
for some
really,
college
really
football
fun.
now.
Yeah, man, get on it, do your thing, enjoy the rest of the weekend. Everybody in North America, around the world, if you're celebrating and having a long weekend, please enjoy, be safe. We'll be back at you guys Tuesday with update on everything that's kind of happened now, that's happened on Raw, and all the top wrestling news. And
Yep.
remember, tomorrow, Andy Ruiz against
Luis Ortiz, King
Luis
Kong.
Ortiz, King Kong. I was looking at that card. That undercard looks pretty good, man.
Yeah, solid. It's a solid
Easy
show.
Cruz is fighting on there in the co-main event. It should be a fun card overall. I think the Isaac Cruz fight's going to probably be better than the main event.
Could be. Could be right. Could
So
be.
yeah, we'll keep you guys posted on that and up to date. Remember, guys, to like and subscribe. Samp_Chance. That's where our bio tree is on our Instagram page. Samp_Chance. Thank you for everything, guys. Lots of love, lots of respect. Have a great weekend. I'm Bobby Sampson.
And in the words of the great ACDC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We absolutely salute you. Everybody, in the words of Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, that's it for Samp and Chance.